You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
The Kibby and Friends Show.
What it is, bro?
Presented by Holly Performance, makers of the world's best air and fuel delivery systems. Featuring Rob Kibby.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Justin Corndog Cornett.
New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
And show producer Bernie McPartland.
This is the DJ 3000, and it has 3 distinct varieties of inane chatter.
We're talking cars.
Do you feel this vehicle is safe for highway travel?
Yes, I do.
Diving deep on the topics that matter most.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
And totally redeem yourself.
And the Dukes of Hazzard. Available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you get your content.
Turn up the volume.
This is the Kibby and Friends Show.
Kibby and Friends Show, episode number 208. Available in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. I am your host, Rob Kibby, period. With me, as always, is co-host Justin Corndog Cornett, period.
Yes, I finally made it out here to record tonight. It's been a hectic evening, but I'm here. Time to breathe a sigh of relief.
No excuses. And in the glass booth of emotion, with his guns, his bacon, his Christmas-themed news, I hope, coming up, producer Bernie McPartland. Welcome, Bernie.
And I'll be answering a special group of questions tonight, maybe if you want. This probably is my last night in Mom's house for the show. So any bearing questions that you have about the room that I'm in, the decor thereof, I'll be happy to answer, or forever hold your peace.
Sure. What's the thread count on those sheets?
700. You didn't think I would know that.
I didn't. You got me right there. You totally got me. Wait a minute. Is that Little Man? That was Justin Little Man Cornett Jr. that just went by.
Yeah. He had to hang out in the shop with me for just a minute until Mom got home. So she just pulled up. So all is good.
We'll give them our best.
They're going the other way now. I can see them.
Okay.
Mom's home. I'm out of here.
That's it.
Okay, fellas. Thanksgiving's in the rear view mirror. We have a big show coming up. This is my favorite time of year, as you know. The holidays are upon us. I have the mint M&M edition, Christmas only M&M. This is the best of M&Ms. There are none better, no matter what anybody says. And I got a little note from my dad last week. Thought you guys would like to read it, or I can read it to you. Now, my dad has passed away. How could he possibly send me a note? A note to let me know that I'm on the right track. Well, it just so happens while we were cleaning out his place, we found some things that were saved. This is a paper I wrote in the 4th grade. Robert Kibby, March 18th, 1985. It is titled The General Lee. General Lee was a man in the war, but there is also a car named after him. It is a 1969 Dodge Charger. It's orange with a Confederate flag on the top and a big 01 on both doors, and General Lee in blue printing on both sides of the flag. It has a white interior, and mags on its tires.
In your defense, the TV, the color needed adjusting.
I think so too. That was a 4:3 ratio, and 480. It has a real souped up engine, and the back end is a little higher than it should be. It has a big black bumper on the front, and I love that car! ! No grade on this, but I'm assuming it's a perfect day.
Obviously.
That made me feel good to get that. Also, the instructions to my Night 2000 voice car, and I still have this toy. It was
Traitor.
Like one of those 1/10. I'm thinking about sending this over to those Knight Rider sons of bitches and see
they probably have an NOS one that's never been folded up.
You think they're the Knight Rider version of you? They just got
They're worse.
50 of them stacked on the shelf.
Because they believe cars can talk. That's why.
Those guys are crazy. We know they can't. We know they fly. So anyway, that was a happy Thanksgiving. Did you guys have a nice Thanksgiving? By the way, everybody, this is your automotive and pop culture show. You are in for a treat. We have games. We have Dukes of Hazzard reviews. We have trivia on cars. But first, food. You guys have good food?
Plenty of it.
We tried some of the stuffing recipes from our Patreon show. By the way, to our patrons, Thanks for putting up with that last one. Even the world's best producer can only do so much. I have a Rode mic. I forgot it or didn't bring it. The jury's still out on that one. I was in a storm that I didn't think that affected cell coverage anymore, but apparently it did where I was, and it sucked. So I'm sorry.
In North Alabama, yeah. You're lucky to have cell service.
I was a little surprised. That was a difficult one to get to, but it's nice to be back here on the mic. So I tried some of the Patreon stuffing / dressing recipes. They were good. I need to go back to the one that my mom made, though, and I can't remember what it is. I know it has butter in it. What'd you guys have? Best food you had? Bernie, what's the best food you had?
Well, that's every meal for me. There's always something good. We went out for Thanksgiving. So we went to a local steakhouse that has been here forever and ever. And they had a wide choice. You could get turkey or ham or any combination or steak or anything, plus a big salad bar. So we pretty much tore that up and it was all pretty good. I'd say on that particular plate was the turkey because the breast was not all dried out. And, you know, as you find it sometimes, the gravy was not too heavy and the dressing had nice overtones to it. No oysters. I was disappointed in that, but oysters plus anything equals great, as we've learned. That was mine.
Nice. I'm skipping the jokes for now. Go ahead, Corndog. What'd you have?
We went to my wife's family, which we always go up there for Thanksgiving. We usually have the same thing pretty much every year. Everybody brings their specialty that they like or whatever. So, you know, the turkey and dressing or stuffing and the gravy mixed in a group together is always good. But there's also a side dish that's, you know, a side or it could be a dessert. And I don't know the name for it, but it's always really good. But it's like pineapples. It sounds weird. Pineapples, Ritz crackers, and cheese. And it's like baked together like in a casserole.
What?
Yes.
Pineapple,
It's actually
Ritz crackers and cheese. What's the cheese?
Yes. It's just kind of drizzled over it. But yeah, it's all baked together. The family member that normally makes it wasn't able to come this year, but one of the other family members tried their hand at it. It tasted the same, but it, you know, it wasn't as presentable, but it was still good. It just didn't look the same, but so that's always good. I don't know what you call it, but maybe you can Google it, but it's pineapples and Ritz crackers and cheese. And I'm sure there's other stuff in there too, but, and the pecan pie or pecan, depending on where you're from. Pecan pie is always good.
My daughter made 11 pies. So we had
11.
Thanksgiving, then we had Charlie Brown Thanksgiving that night with friends. And she made 4 apples, at least 2 pumpkins, because whenever she makes a pie, there's always one gluten-free one for our youngest daughter, so she can have something. And then there's this thick chocolate mousse pie. It's hard to describe. It's almost like whipped up chocolate chips. But like if you threw it at a wall, it wouldn't slough down. Maybe ever.
So does she make them like from scratch?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
For the most part?
Everything's from scratch. Crust, everything.
Wow.
No major fruits this time around, but I would definitely say that I just like pie. And then there were 2 pecan pies.
Like your post on Friday morning, pie is always the best.
I did. I had 3 pieces of pie, actually, by the time I posted. So good. So what we have here, guys, is the run to Christmas. So Thanksgiving's in the rearview mirror. We got to knock out 3 shows, including this one, plus a Patreon show, before we can go on Christmas break. So to do that, we're going to stall a little bit with game shows, because game shows are a great way to do a show like this, because it kills time and people think you worked hard on it, but you really didn't. That's the trick. So Bernie.
Yeah, we did.
Sure. Here's our brand new game show. This is called Christmas Movie or Not, and the car you rode in on. Burn a little music right here would be great. Now, here's how it goes. You will each get some questions. There are 3 possible points per question. The first thing you got to do is guess the name of the movie for 1 point. Okay. Then you got to guess true, false, whether it's a Christmas movie or not. And then the star car of the movie. Each of these have a car in them. And that's why we made the list here. Now, so that's 3 points. And this is lenient as hell. Okay. I am the judge and jury, and I am definitely giving you all of the extras that you need here because I want you to get the points.
You're going to keep up with the points, right?
No, I usually fail at that. Keep up your own points and tell me how we go. All right, so we're going to start here. We're going to start with Bernie. So Bernie, name the movie, true or false, it's Christmas, and then the star car. So here we go for Bernie.
Benjamin is no one's friend. If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, He'd be pralines and dick.
Did you hear that one? Was that clear?
It's pretty clear. Yeah.
I think you got it all. A very distinct voice. What's your best guess? Well, what do you think that is?
This is name of movie?
Yep, name of the movie.
Oh.
They have their own show. They do it out of their basement in Aurora, Illinois. The guy who was speaking, his name rhymes with Brooks.
Wayne's World.
Well, yeah, way to go, Bird. All right, that's 1 point. Okay.
I was stuttering there because I didn't want to say Bill and Ted because I knew that was wrong.
You are right. You've got that spot on. It really is Wayne's World. True or false? Is that a Christmas movie?
That is not a Christmas movie. False.
Bing, 2 for 2. All right. What is the star car of the movie?
Pacer.
Boom. 3 for 3. Bing. It is a 1976 AMC Pacer named the Mirthmobile. All right. Over to Corndog here. If Cody Young were on, he'd have gotten this one. I know he knows it.
I'm probably going to fail.
It's a little bit of a reach, but here we go.
Where's my money? Where's my money? Yeah, you got money to pay for fake mustaches, huh? Yeah. How much you pay for that fake mustache? $2.99.
I forgot to tell you, I can also have cartoons in this.
I was going to say it was definitely a cartoon.
That is a helpful piece of advice right there.
Not really.
Clearly someone wanting to find their money. Interestingly enough, the General Lee has made an appearance on this show, but it was a repainted version of the star car. Oh man,
I'm terrible at this. I don't watch enough movies. I'm going to go with some kind of Family Guy. No, it's not a Family Guy
yes,
movie.
you did.
Is it?
Way to go, Corndog. Oh, that was awesome. Hell yeah. That was indeed an episode of Family Guy where Stewie is a loan shark and Brian the dog owes him money. It's Family Guy, that episode.
I thought we were just doing movies.
No,
I was going to say, I didn't think they did a Family Guy movie, but okay.
I just now realized you are right on that, so...
I might need the bonus points.
Well, hang on to that bonus point for later. True or false? Christmas?
I will say no.
Bing! Correct again. And do you know the car?
The station wagon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Does it look like an LTD station wagon?
Bam! 3 for 3, and it didn't even know what it was. It's a 73
I don't watch
Ford
Family
LTD.
Guy. I've seen it, but...
Google the one To Live and Die in Dixie. It'll make you happy.
I have seen a picture of the wagon painted up as a General Lee.
Waylon Jennings did the voiceover for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow, it's that old.
Oh, it's awesome. Totally awesome. Okay, over to Bern here. So you guys are tied with perfect points. Bernie, here we go. This one is for you.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark.
That should be a cakewalk. No hints. What is it?
Christmas Vacation.
Bing! Perfect. True or false?
But is it a real Christmas story?
Is it a real Christmas movie or not?
Absolutely a Christmas movie.
Maybe my favorite. I could have it on repeat and never get sick of it. And the car, the star car, is what?
Well, gee, there's several, but the main car, you're probably talking about the tourist wagon.
3 for 3. By the way, if anybody needs a Christmas gift for me, I don't need my boss wrapped up. I would like the Hallmark Ford Taurus with the tree on top. I missed it when that one got issued.
I'm sure you would have also accepted Cousin Eddie's RV.
Absolutely would have, and I would like that ornament as well. I missed them both. Okay, over to Corndog here. Number
Bernie's
4.
batting 1,000.
Here we go. Ooh, good. Bernie didn't get this one.
You in the building?
Yeah, I just moved in Monday.
Oh, you like it so far?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them. Mama!
Okay.
I've seen the scene.
Bit of a reach. What do you think you were hearing?
I'm drawn up, and I know this is everybody's like screaming at their phones or whatever, radios. I can't even figure out who the character is.
The actor there was Jim Carrey. I'll just tell you.
I thought it was. Is it Liar Liar?
It is. Bing.
Okay.
All right.
I thought it was going to be like a weird curveball. I've seen that movie like once.
Oh, you can watch that scene several times. So, is that true or false? Is that a Christmas movie?
I don't remember a Christmas theme, so no.
Correct. It is not. This
no
is a
clue.
Toughie.
What vehicle is in it?
Okay.
I'll just go with Honda Accord because that's
okay,
the most versatile answer.
You lose on that one, but you still have a bonus point from before, so that's 3. I was going to give you the hint that he's a lawyer in the mid-90s, therefore he drives a Mercedes-Benz SL500.
Okay.
That's exactly what he drives. So you'd have got that anyway. Okay. Over to Byrne here.
Oh, there's more.
There's two more. This is a very short clip. Listen closely.
Sandy don't visit the funeral homes, little buddy.
I'm going to give you that one more time because it's so short.
Sandy don't visit the funeral homes, little buddy.
What do you think? He said Sandy, so it's got to be Christmas themed.
Trying to nail down where a little buddy like that would come in. Any more hints from...
Well, the person talking was Daniel Stern.
Who's the director? That may help.
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure who the director is. Is it Chris Columbus?
No. Didn't he also do the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
No, he is the writer. He is not the director of this. I think the director is Chris Columbus. The director famously walked away from Christmas Vacation because he thought Chevy Chase was an asshole.
Cult classic.
Okay, Byrne. It's a child. His family is gone. He is there for...
Home Alone.
That's right. Bing! You got the points. True or false Christmas?
True Christmas.
The person that was talking was in the vehicle. And it's probably the most famous vehicle. There's a Lego edition of it out now.
Really?
They pose as plumbers, I think. Therefore, they need a vehicle that they could pretend that was a plumbing vehicle.
Dodge van.
Bam! 3 for 3. Yeah. It's an 86 Ram van.
Powerhouse.
I was trying to remember the grill on it because you could go Ford van there real easy.
You could.
They all look the same.
Last one here, over to Corndog. Now, I initially thought this would need to be a tiebreaker. I didn't think you guys would be perfect. You got to get it all perfect to win.
How's that make you feel, Bernie?
Is this how he feels all the time?
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I got myself a Prius. It's a hell of a machine.
It's my first brand new car. Never owned a new car.
Found a deer vagina.
Oh, what?
Thought it was human lips at first. And we took a closer look. It was definitely a deer vagina.
So you gave me the hint for the car right away. You know what? I'm a little concerned you couldn't hear that because of all the noise. And let me...
Yeah, it's a real shame. I got myself a Prius. It's a hell of a machine.
It's my first brand new car. Never owned a new car.
Found a deer vagina.
Oh, what?
Thought it was human lips at first. And we took a closer look. It was definitely a deer vagina.
Oh, so...
I don't know. I can't help but
I'll give you a hint. One of the actors you were listening to was Will Ferrell.
I thought it sounded like Will Ferrell, and that sounds right up his alley.
They said the name of the car, so you're definitely getting that.
So I'll get that one. It's a Toyota Prius.
Okay, bing. You two more to tie for perfection here. This is Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Okay. That helps.
This is a rare one.
Helps. Daddy's Home.
No. You are on the right track, though. Same duo.
Stepdad?
Stepbrothers? No.
Oh, crap. No.
There's the good guys and the cops, and then there's the wannabes. There's the good guys and the...
I'm going to have to give it to Bernie. I don't know that I've seen this one.
I don't know. I have to pass.
It is The Other Guys. That's the name of the title. The Other Guys.
The Other Guys.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely haven't seen that.
True or false Christmas movie?
Well, Bernie's got it already, so I'll say false.
Bing. Perfect. Okay. You only lost by 1. That was a new competitive game with lots of new clips. I recommend that we watch The Other Guys at some point. Good cars in it. It ends with him in a 68 Camaro.
I guess the thing, with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, first thing that popped up in my mind was Daddy's Home. A little side story real quick. Usually around Thanksgiving, my wife and I, after usually like Thursday afternoon or whatever, sometimes Friday afternoon, we will go to a movie. And Daddy's Home was playing during that weekend a few years back. And we got our ticket stub and, it just cut off the name of the movie, and all that showed up on the ticket stub was Daddy's Home.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook way back then. And it just popped up in my memories. It's like, I promise we're not going to see a flick. This is Daddy's Home. So
that's a good movie. I like the second one too, the Christmas one. Over Thanksgiving. So way to go, guys. Might keep that up here. That's an easy fodder for me. I don't have to work so hard. Not like I do, but I don't have to work very hard to prepare for it. I did see Ghostbusters Afterlife over Thanksgiving. It's awesome. It's totally awesome. Really? We do need to review it. It's a little ham-fisted with some nostalgia here and there, but overall, I really liked it. I don't watch the Ghostbusters religiously, but what's cool for people like us is that the car is back and it's good. Yeah. So this is kind of their version of the Dukes of Hazzard movie as far as the quality of the car, because the car comes back and its whole point is that it's the old Ecto-1. and it was modified after the last movies, and it's explained, and you believe it. For some reason, it jumps now, and it drifts pretty good on like 35-year-old bias plies that somehow
Big
hold
old
air.
tank.
It's not the original car in the movie, and I assume there was more than one. Mm-hmm. Guess what's under the hood, Corndog? Take a wild guess.
LS3.
You are right. How did you know?
At least it's the same brand, you know?
It's an LS3. I don't know if Dennis McCarthy was the picture car guy or not.
I could probably find out because I know the guy that was transporting the cars when they were filming that movie. Yeah. Man. We were texting back and forth, and he's like, I can't text right now, or I'll have to get back with you later or something, because he said, I'm hauling these Ghostbuster cars. And then he sent a picture.
Oh, how many were there? Do you know?
I believe there was at least 2 on his rig, because, you know, those things are like 22 feet long.
Big-ass cars.
Massive. So, I mean, you could probably take a 3-car hauler and only squeeze 2 on there. So he was hauling them, which he also worked on the Dukes movie as well. So, yeah, anyways, I could probably find out through him how many cars there were. And
I'd love to know. There's a couple of scenes when the car jumps, it's CGI'd. That's better than using miniatures, but not much if you know what you're looking at. I like the real scenes with the car. Vern, I told you beforehand, there was stuff in here for you. The star of the movie is this young girl. Actually, her cohort is named Podcast, but she's a super nerd, and she tries to make jokes in the movie to help get people to like her. Thought you'd like that part. They're terrible jokes. Would you like to hear 2?
I'd love to, yes.
A grasshopper walks into a bar. The bartender says, hey, we have a drink named after you. The grasshopper says, you have a drink named Steve?
Fantastic.
See? One more. You're going to use this one later, and you're not going to give me credit. Here it comes. What do a cigarette and a hamster have in common?
What do a cigarette and a hamster have in common?
They're both totally harmless until you stick them in your mouth and light them on fire.
That's a mental picture right there.
It's awesome. So Ghostbusters was awesome. The cars were cool. I did not see John Schneider's Christmas in Tune with his mother, Reba McEntire, because I don't have the Lifetime channel. Did you guys see it or not?
Man, I hate I missed it.
I saw the last hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah?
Forgot what time it came on, and we turned the channel, and there it was.
Was it terrible?
It wasn't terrible. It was predictable, and it was corny, and it was almost John overacting, if you can imagine that.
Huh.
Almost trying too hard. Now, you can see the old John Schneider in there, and he was, I would think, at times, now this may seem like a stretch, but you have to see the movie in context to understand why. You have to know John as an actor, as we do, to understand this. It would seem to me that in parts of that film, he was trying to carry Reba McEntire, and I mean in the dialogue sense.
I think Reba, isn't she a decent actress?
She is. She had her own sitcom series, in fact. The same name.
Yeah.
His name was Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. If I find it on YouTube, I'll buy it.
It will make the rounds to the other channels sooner or later before the season's over.
Don't Lifetime and Hallmark have a battle to the death going?
I think they're owned by the same company. I think it's the Dish Network and what's the other one? You know, they're owned by the same company anyway.
Just like us, they're really not friends.
Mm-hmm.
They really are.
They just fake it because they're getting paid too.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of Holly, we have some Holly deals coming up for you later in the show. Let's do a quick Patreon update, and then we'll roll to the world famous Bernie on the News. As you know, in December, our Patreon show is quad hosted by Mr. Dan Atkinson, but this time around, he has put up a significant donation so that someone new to the show, a patron, can become that quad host. Now, in our November show, we put out a post. You had to enter and say you wanted to do it, and whoever was the longest running patron of any level would get it. I've got it whittled down to 3. Are you guys ready?
Did they all sign up on the same date?
They did not. I'm going to give you some names here of 3 people who would very much like to do this, and then I'm going to tell you when they signed up. They're all still active patrons, but I have to tell you when they signed up, because the whoever signed up first is the one who gets the win. By the way, Matthias Person is our newest patron. Welcome, Matthias. Thank you so much. Our goal this month is to raise $2,000 for Toys for Tots. We're going to kick in $1,000, and hopefully the patrons will kick in $1,000, which I think would be awesome. Here are our entrants. Mr. Austin Friday, a name we know, a $10 contributor, a loyal question asker. He joined on October 21st, 2020. Now, maybe he had joined previously and came back, but that's the date I have in Patreon. That's all I can go by, is whatever Patreon tells me. Now we have Corey Seifert, another name we know well, a $20 supporter, a hardcore question asker. May 25th, 2018. That is going back there.
That's OG.
That is a very OG. Last entry, competing here. He goes by Bosco, but his real name is David Autry. $10 contributor, join date April 29th, 2020. And you know what that means. 2018 wins it. Mr. Corey Seifert, congratulations. You are our quad host for Christmas. Jingle bells, Burn. Do you have something Christmassy here? We'll give you the details on how you do this. It's not very hard. We just mostly make it up. But you will love it, and it's for Christmas, and it's to raise money for kids who really could use a happy Christmas, and this is the best time of year for us. So that is your Patreon update. If you'd like to join in, go to patreon.com/KFshow to listen. And now we go to the award-winning, all-knowing, all-seeing, prognosticating, time-wasting Bernie on the News. Burn, what is the news the world needs to know?
We have several items. Number one, this from our good friends at SEMA. Supply chain disruption still affecting new vehicle production for the balance of this year. Fewer cars on the lots versus this time last year. But in my market, I still see lots of car ads come down and, inventory is great and all that. So it's kind of hard to put. Probably in the middle of corn country, things are a little harder to find. I don't know, but that's just the perception from this stable here. More 80% of the dealers expecting their sales still to be stable or growing over the coming year. So good news and optimism from there. With inflation, just take your checkbook with you. Quoting caranddriver.com, Dodge is preparing to launch, we've talked about this, an electric muscle car for 2024. E-muscle concept car coming out next year. But, that's hard news, yes, but here's the bad news. We knew it was coming. We've talked about it. Dodge CEO.
No, don't do it.
I'm going to. I have to. I'm obligated.
We've seen it. It's sad.
But it hurts. And I don't want.
You pay me to do this.
I don't want to hurt.
That's what she said.
Just get it over with. That's all what she said.
At least we can laugh.
Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis confirmed to Motor Authority publication that production of its Hellcat supercharged V8 will end the year before the electric car arrives.
They're getting neutered.
They are getting neutered. You can still find one on the lot. Current retail for that combination, just under 63 large, but the clock is ticking.
I haven't seen Ford or Chevy do it. They will. I remember reading somewhere, and I just can't recall now what the penalty is that Dodge has to pay for every single Hellcat they sell. The environmental penalty, because there is one. And there's cafe standards, and there's all things like that. But, they knew it was coming. We all know it was coming. It was a good ride. No wonder they haven't updated the Challenger or the Charger. What's the point? Right? Let's just keep putting more motor on it. Oh, man.
So is this technically like the second death of the muscle car?
I think it is.
Or was there another one prior to the 70s?
Because since the early 80s, we started finding ways using technology to make the combustion engine great again.
Yeah.
And then we got all the way to here where it's putting perfume out the tailpipe. We're going to kill it again.
Just think it kind of started with like the Viper and the ZR1 and all that way back in like
true
late 80s, early 90s.
Super cars. Yeah.
GNX, Buicks.
Oh, God.
I think that's what makes me the maddest about the whole movement in general, is that nothing is ever good enough. I mean, cars have gone from belching smoke to pouring water out of the tailpipe, and that's still not good enough. And it makes me angry. And it means still that it ain't over till it's over. That still means there's something else coming. We may not live to see it, but there will be another generation. There will be another come around of this same thing again. It's inevitable. This is just another iteration of that. Is it all bad? Of course not. I'm for everything. I'm for everything. Let it all work. I'm for everything that works. I really, really am. But don't punish the people who make things great.
I have no idea what the stats are, but it's got to be a low production vehicle, right? I mean, with that particular engine package. Who knows? Yeah. I did find myself shopping for slab-sided chargers over the weekend. They're such a good deal. They're not Hellcats, but they're such a value.
And they can be Hellcats so easily.
Mm-hmm. They're good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was doing the news, wasn't I? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'd buy that for $1.
That's the popular one-liner from the 1987 sci-fi movie RoboCop. Some cool cars in there. Not. It will have to be redubbed if Dollar Tree, the retail store empire, has a say-so. Have you guys heard this? Dollar Tree announcing it's bumping many items from $1 to $1.25 due to the harsh inflation we have and skyrocketing materials and shipping costs. It's $1.25 for now, the company says. It's not a permanent change, not a knee-jerk reaction. It says also to temporary market conditions, just something they have to do to. Their positive spin on this is to make more items available that they've had to take off the shelves because the cost, they couldn't keep it at $1. But if they bring it up to $1.25, they can add some of that stuff back in that were family favorites. But we'll see. So hopefully that's true for them.
We have a Five Below here, which I always thought was a store with cold things in it. Turns out it's just like a dollar store, but it's $5.
Yeah.
Nothing chilly in there at all.
No cold bargains.
Thought it was $5
How much is an ice tray in Five Below?
I don't know, $5. I don't know.
It's like everything's like $5 and less.
Oh, $5 or below.
So yeah, you get all kinds of good stuff.
Makes
there.
a lot
My
more
daughter
sense
loves
now.
going there.
Oh, there's a play on words there.
Yeah.
So there is.
And finally, the woman in this story could have said that, and then it would have perhaps been followed by a very sharp. Newsweek reports a woman on a Delta Airlines flight going to Atlanta breastfeeding her cat. Reports say the cat was a hairless breed wrapped up in a blankie to appear as an infant. They're not grossed out yet. A flight attendant on the flight is quoted saying her shirt was up and she was trying to get the cat to latch on. She wouldn't put the cat back in the carrier. And the cat was screaming for its life.
So they didn't want no part of it either.
No description on the mothership is being offered here, but that might be one of the reasons for the screaming of the cat. A follow-up comment from one of the flight attendants on the flight, quote, "What does she do at home if she's doing all this in public?" End of quote.
Boom.
And Delta, in case you're wondering about now, has no policy to prohibit human breastfeeding on flights. There's been no company statement issued. If this extends to Tabby, animals are supposed to be in cages when they're on board. So if that's the case, perhaps Tabby, in this reporter's opinion, should have used a straw.
I saw this on the rundown. I am not joking to you. 8 days ago, I was on a Delta flight to Atlanta. And the lady in front of me, I could hear like, mew, mew. Until I read in the article and they list her actual seat. I know where I was sitting and we were not in that seat. But for just a while, I thought, no shit, I was there. No wonder that cat was making so much noise. And it was the whole damn flight all the way. It wasn't me, but I checked into it. Man. Any other news, Bern? Good stuff.
Recent deaths. Brother of Dan Aykroyd. His name was Peter. He was a writer and cast member at SNL. He was in the movie Coneheads, made an appearance in that. Died recently. Birthdays, Ed Harris, the actor, one of my favorite actors, 71 years old. Tina Turner, 82 years old.
Really? She still has cool arms. Totally.
Nice hair.
Good news. This show and the upcoming Dukes of Hazzard review presented to you, as always, by Holly. I've been shopping Holly's website. I'm looking for throttle bodies that don't have the fuel injection in them. I got something on my sleeve. I have an idea. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about their all-new Holly Retro Bright line. This is a really cool gift. Put it on your Christmas list. It's a new line of LED sealed beam style headlights in round and rectangular styles that deliver a classic look with modern illumination. Now, other people have come out with these before, but they come out in different color temperatures. You know, if you like the blue look, more power to you. I don't. I like the vintage modern white look. Well, they have that color temperature available as well. But the big thing is that it comes with a little adapter so that you can use your factory wiring harness.
Awesome.
You unplug the old headlight and you plug this one in. It's that simple. It's LED. It's low power usage. They partnered up with another company here, and I don't have it in my list, but it's a company that they went to make something just like this so that it could be plug and play for LED status. Now, I have sealed beam headlights with like a standard bulb in the back of my Chevelle, and they look cool. I really love the look.
Yeah.
But they're not LED. In fact, every now and then, because of the way things are wired, like it'll take a while for like the left low beam to come on. Like I'll pull the lights on and then it'll kind of wake up there. So go to
these headlights that they have. What diameter do they offer?
They offer in round 7-inch and 5 3/4, and then in rectangular it's 4x6 and 5x7. And again, the big thing, like if you have a Euro style that you're looking for, they have yellow lenses. I mean, it's a million offerings on the website. They're showing you a square body Chevy with rectangular headlights that they're just installing them in. And when you see the adapter, it's going to make perfect sense to you. Like, oh my gosh, I just plug it in to my factory harness and it will just go. Holly.com is where you go. Make sure that you tell them that we sent you. Put that on your Christmas list. I know that the Holly deals are going right now, but I'm unclear. In years past, they've done like $100 and free shipping type thing. I assume they'll do something like that. Make sure that you check the website every single day for the latest deals. Again, what I just told you about was called Retro Bright. One word, Retro Bright. I think that'd be awesome.
On those deals, it's one day. They offer, it'll be just random items. So you have to check every single day because every day it's a different deal.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Well, with that, it is time to get to the Duke's review. And I've been told by the dog that we have a deep dive breakdown on real general leads available. Possibly. I hope so, because I don't have much.
Just a good old boy. Never meaning no harm.
This is Season 6, Episode 21, titled The Fortune Tellers, written by Cy Rose, directed by Paul Baxley, original air date March 23rd, 1984, and here's the preview right here.
Tonight, on the news, phony fortune tellers are out to flim-flam Hazzard.
Now, I had to text you in advance, Corndog, because according to the DVDs, this is out of order of what IMDb tells you the order was. There's only one more episode to go in Season 6, but It was a debate whether it was this one or the next one. We went ahead and went with this one. That's what you had in your list. That's what the DVDs say. That is not what IMDb says. And interesting enough, according to the DVD, the next episode airs the next day. Yeah, March 24th, 1984. Is that?
I have a list of the episodes from Warner Brothers. I mean, it's like Warner Brothers paperwork and all, and it has it listed and episode information and all that. And so that's how they had it listed, as well as The Fortune Tellers on the 23rd and Cooter's Confession on the 24th.
Huh. Maybe they just wanted to get this season over as well.
Wrap it up. We got miniatures to jump.
Is there a miniature episode coming up here? I thought it was in this episode, and I
can't remember if the Cooter's Confession has them or not. That may have been like a mid-season decision or something. Who knows?
I hope not. Here's the IMDb summary. This gets thick here. Boss hires a pair of fortune-telling con artists to steal the daily receipts at the Boar's Nest, then pin the blame on waitress Daisy. The fortune tellers are also involved in Boss's cover-up attempt to conceal his cashing in on the Hogs bonds when Lulu asked to do so. Okay, there's a lot of cross-promotional weird story stuff in here.
Yeah.
Haven't said the small item that I would like to mention. The DVD says, Hocus Pocus, y'all. A couple of phone seers figure in Boss Hogg's latest flim-flam scam. Okay, not clear yet.
That leaves a lot to be desired.
I reject that just because of the use of the word y'all.
Yeah.
You guys have seen Police Academy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Been a while, but yeah.
That will be helpful later. Here's my summary. Remember that white Dodge van that says Mr. Radio on the side of it that we were going to buy for Bernie? Okay.
Yeah, the one that's sitting in Bernie's driveway right now.
Yeah.
We may want to rethink that because they blow up. And that van, or one just like it, is in this episode. It's a sign. And then in this episode, one of the gypsies is
shorter.
smaller man. And
vertically challenged.
He's a little person. His name is 3-Pack. Is this racist? I don't know what you call it. I'm walking on eggshells here. This actor, whose name I don't know, in 1979 played a role in the Muppet movie where he was named One-Eyed Midget. And that was on the Muppets. So back to the Dukes summary here. The Dukes prove that they are progressive people because they refer to him as a little person. I don't know what the hell this episode's about. It has fake fortune tellers that prey on people's stupidness, and while their fortune is being told, the little guy robs them. The end.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bo is not in this episode.
Yeah, this storyline had a lot of meat and potatoes. It had so many different little side stories.
It is
Not
thick
as
on plot.
easy to follow.
So
yeah.
Boss Hogg had taken some bearer bonds, and that's a totally 1980s cocaine plot of all kinds. Everybody wanted to steal bearer bonds. He took them out of Lulu's safe, cashed them in, put some fakes in there, uses the gypsies to get Lulu to tell him the combination so that he can basically right his wrong. It is a weird-ass episode, and there's no Bo in it. Do you know why Bo's not in this? Or John, this is the second or third one this season that he's not in.
Yeah, I need to go back and kind of see where these production dates follow on this one and, the other one where he was out and he just calls in for the last 2 minutes of the episode. This one was the same way. He calls in. Of course, he's off doing NASCAR stuff.
Yeah.
First time he was basically being a grease monkey, and now I think he's racing. So who knows? I don't really know if he was doing a movie or singing or I don't know.
I know the answer to this one.
You do?
Oddly enough. This is the first time he attended a Reba McEntire concert, and he was front row. And so he had backstage passes, and that's where the whole saga that we talked about earlier began.
He was taking notes. He was thinking, someday this grandmother is going to be my wife.
That flaming red hair.
Still flaming. Almost 70. I took a stream of consciousness set of notes here. Everybody saw this? Burns, you see it?
As a matter of fact, I didn't.
Okay. Corndog, how about you?
I did watch it.
You did watch it.
I didn't take like crazy notes, but I did take some notes.
So there are two bad guys, and one of which is a lady, and she plays an astrologist. I don't know if you guys have ever had relatives into astrology. My grandma, Kibby, was. My Uncle Jan hated her horoscopes. He once told her to put that damn spook book away. Like,
spook book.
Got in trouble. I've always kind of taken my Uncle Jan's approach to stuff like this. Put that spook
That's
book
funny.
away. The woman, her name is Leslie Easterbrook. She is an American actress from L.A. Long career, but she is remembered for the role of the tough and busty training instructor Debbie Callahan in the Police Academy movies.
I'm not joking. Come on. Come on. No!
That's where you know her and know her well. This episode is just Luke and Daisy driving along. I wonder if John Schneider was written out late in the script because Roscoe refers to the two of them as the Duke boys maybe at least once or twice.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it does. Like the Duke boys are coming after him, and he just looked at Daisy and Luke. At one point, Luke has to drive the car while handcuffed to Daisy, but his left hand is handcuffed to her left hand, I guess. So he's driving one-handed, right-handed. And it really is Tom Wopat in a scene where he takes off and he rips the car just freaking awesome sideways.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly is about to lose it, and then he's out of the frame, and it goes away. There's a 68 Charger on the Town Square set that I wanted to ask you about. It has a decent, well, actually, there's two. The one that's on the Town Square had clearly, I think, just been built because it pulls in, the tail's in the air. You can see that it's got white wall tires flipped inside out. The leaf springs and the gas tank are orange. Like it looks like it had just got shot. So I was curious if that one were in here. And I noticed that that car had no front bumperettes like your car. Yep. And the driver's side mirror was pushed forward a little bit.
That may have been right when this 68 Hero car, I guess you'd call it, was built. The book doesn't give that kind of detail as far as like this car was just freshly painted 68, VIN number this or whatever. And so, to try to pick that car out in the book would be kind of tough unless it received some kind of damage and it's noted in the book. So
Corey Eubanks does a lot of doubling of Luke when they're out on the second unit stuff. There's a 68 Charger that He slides into a bunch of tall grass or weeds.
Then when they back up, you can see the tail panel is just like
awful.
Crudely.
Oh man, they're not level. They're both like landing planes.
It looks like mean eyes, kind of like mean tapered eyes,
Yes.
But yeah, for a lot of the second unit stuff out there in Valencia on that day, they used that car because you see the taillights over and over and over for the second unit stuff.
I liked that type of stuff. It's not a remarkable episode. The plot is too much. Last night I had a Trogs Hop Cyclone beer while I was watching this episode. That was more interesting than the episode to me. I was really struggling. I have some clips that Bernie can stick in here. Oh, here's my proof that Dukes are progressive. Want to hear it?
Look, only a little child could fit through that opening.
Or a little person.
You mean like that fortune teller's little flunky 3-pack?
He said little person. This is early
Little
80s.
person.
Yeah.
Then she started the name calling, Flunky and 3-pack. And
I have nothing else. Do you? I mean, the only redeeming features, there's no miniatures in it. There's no jumps. It's like there's
did
one.
you notice
the van flips upside down and they get them all out and they go, "It's gonna blow!" Like ships.
Pipe ramp, and it crushes the roof in pretty good. Did you notice on the square, a lot of the filming was done either really, really early in the morning or really late at night? Not really late, but after dark. The cars, they have a lot more shine to them and more glare, and they've got the lights on them a lot harder than they normally would. Because some of the scenes you can actually see, and it looks like a morning shadow or whatever. I think when Enos rear ends the tow truck and gets hooked, and then Cooter pulls them around and then drops them or whatever. When they're going back and forth and he's unloading the police car, you can tell it looked like it was first thing in the morning.
Sure.
I noticed that on a lot of the scenes in the town square. Another thing I noticed too was the police car, the tall grass that you mentioned, where the generally goes off into the tall grass. There's another scene where Roscoe's police car goes off into either the same tall grass or different batch of tall grass. It looks like the car that they used, it looked like it was probably previously jumped because the nose of it was just kind of shoved up in the air.
Oh, the patrol car, you mean?
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been enough damage to, like maybe that was a second take or something. And, just from nosing off the edge of the road, it looked like jump damage. I noticed that. And, there wasn't really a whole lot of good stuff to pull from this, but I did have some notes from the book. So
for those listening, Corndog is an insider. He knows more than you do. He knows more than the people who made this book probably do. He's got notes on the maintenance logs that were done there, and we're trying to prove how many real General Lees existed when the series ended. Not in the early 90s when the cars were sold off, because that's pretty documented. We think there were more than the 17 or 19 that you've heard of, and we're trying to prove it. So since episode 7 of this season, we've been tracking them. What do you got here, Corndog, in your book? So this is season 6, episode 21.
Yeah, this may actually be a couple cars that you don't already have in your list that you're documenting. I actually had to flip back from the last production that we did. I had to flip back because apparently this one was filmed before. But I have this one actually right about this time and back in 1984. It was November 21st. So we're not too far off. If you noticed on some of when the actors were going back and forth, you can see the smoke or whatever, the fog coming out of their mouth from talking, from it being cold.
Wow.
Let me see here. I've got General Lee WGL-05. Did you have that one?
I did. Well, it was just called 5 in here. Is 05 the same?
Yeah, they were always 01, 02. And then once they got to double digits, it was 10, 11, 12.
Got it. Okay.
2 quarts of ATF and a carb. And then number 36, I know we've got that.
Yep.
24, that's the RT. It was used.
Yep.
I don't think you have this one. Number 303?
No, that's a new one.
It doesn't have anything on it. And, that may actually be, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but I was going to say that may actually be that 68 close-up car because I know 01 is a close-up car, 02 is a close-up car, so 03, that may be another close-up, and that may be that 68.
That would make sense because it's in order.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, 3 comes next. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Last time I checked. And then we got number 64. I think you have that one as well.
Yes.
You got a fan spacer, 3 fan belts, 1 coolant, 2 ATF, 1 air filter, and 2 quarts of oil.
It's a lot of fan belts.
Sheriff's car, number 62, got body damage. That may have been when the 2 cars were slapping sides. They did that on this episode.
Not to be confused with bumping uglies.
Yeah, bumping up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Actually, one of the pickups, the Jesse pickup, got body damage in this episode. That's it for the generals on the 21st of November. And then 22nd of November, number 24, the RT, it got body damage. I know you've got that. You've got 36. You've got number 3. You've got 33.
33. Okay, I got it now. Okay.
Oh, you didn't have 33 before?
I had the car before. I didn't have it. It is used in this episode. Now I've got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was at Cooter's Last Stand back in 17. It was the one that had the orange air cleaner that had writing on it and stuff.
Yep.
WGL 64. He did his notes twice on this for some reason, but he put 64 on here again. Scratch that. 64 wasn't used until now. Okay, 64, 5 quarts of oil filter, body damage, and then WGL 08.
Yep. Okay, that's on the list. Yep.
Okay, and this is actually kind of interesting here. WGL 13.
That's new.
It had body damage and it says first unit. So that kind of helps to maybe pick this car out.
First unit. So would that be on the town square?
It could be, or it could have been used out on the farm or the country roads or whatever, out at the boar's nest.
Okay.
So, and then they've got the nondescript van. That's what kind of linked the book to this episode. It's nondescript van, total rollover.
Bernie's van.
Yeah, Bernie's sad midget van.
Little person van. It would be a minivan.
A minivan.
I was just waiting.
When did the Dodge Caravan come out? I think in 84, didn't it? Maybe
84 or 5, something like that.
Somewhere. Nice.
So that's it for the 22nd. 23rd, we've got 33 again. A fan, radiator, fan spacer, fan belt, 2 coolant, oil filter, 5 quarts of oil, and 2 quarts of ATF.
Okay.
Generally 67. Do you have that one?
Yes, that is on the list. I now have it down as on this episode.
On this episode, yeah. Yep. And then you've got 28. That car's still around. 24 is still around.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we've got 3 again listed. One of the sheriff's cars got a grill, 4 headlights, park lights, body damage. Going down the list. Now it says 2 Dodge vans, 1 rollover van. So that's it for this episode. Yeah. It's 3 days of, I guess, second unit or repairs or whatever. And then we go to December 1st, which is the next.
Before this year is over, we'll have finished season 6. So next year we'll do season 7. Or we'll take breaks every now and then because it's just going to suck. You thought this season was difficult. Next season get real difficult. Here's where we are right now if you're interested. So we started tracking this in episode 7 of this season. We have now documented 20 generalese, real generalese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of which are totaled. So that leaves 14 real ones so far that we just have on our list.
There was a generally jump in this episode, but it was recycled footage. So that's why nothing showed up in the book as a jumped car.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 of the 20 that we've documented so far are totaled and gone. Several of these I have listed as Survivor, if you've told me they were Survivor. Of the ones that are kind of mysteries so far, we have 1, GL3, GL5, GL8, GL13, and then GL52, I don't have marked as, and GL67. So if those are cars that you know as survivors, I'll list them. But GL3, GL5, GL8, GL13, GL52, and 67.
Some people may that really follow the generalese as well. They may get confused and say, "Oh yeah, generally 13, it's still around." But SGL 13, I know is still around because it stayed here at my house for quite a while. That one was one that slipped through the cracks that did not get relabeled into a WGL number
because it got stolen.
And so the SGL was studio generally back when Ken Fritz was building the cars or overseeing the cars. And so it's easy to get those two mixed up. You know, WGL 13 and SGL 13 are 2 totally separate vehicles. So a lot of people get really confused about that.
When you say Ken Fritz, so we kind of documented between 3 and 4 basic builders of generalese throughout this series. We kind of don't really get into too deep on here, but Ken Fritz was a very brief builder for about half of season 4, I think you have said. Are there any other cars that have slipped out like that one?
There's the 2 cars that are currently in Arkansas that the Smith brothers kind of help find or locate or whatever, with the help of like Travis Bell and Richard Cummings and a few other people. And that one was still at a movie cinema vehicle, rental place.
Yeah.
They were beaten, battered, and there was all kinds of signs that, they were former General Lee's. The back windows were missing, so, you couldn't find the etchings there, and the cars were just completely gutted. On one of the cars, you could actually see, they would weld the push bars onto the sides of the frame rails. You could see where they just torched off the push bar. So it still had like the last little bit of the push bar still welded to the sides of the frame rail.
I remember that.
And that
photo.
was
a really cool photo.
Yeah, that's on one of the cars. And the other car was believed to have been a small push bar car, but, it's hard to say. It could have easily been one of the cars that was prepped for jumping or doing stunts or whatever, where they just hack off the bottom of the push bar and it's just welded directly to the bumper and not to the frame itself. So it could have been either or, but the owner and the builders or the restorers or whatever believed that it was probably a small push bar car. It's hard to prove one way or the other, really. Well,
by the end of this episode series, we're going to have proof on something. Now, what are we going to do with it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Make us feel better.
I've been making a list as well myself on like a spreadsheet of these car numbers and stuff. And, I started with the first book. This is actually the second book. I've got both of the books and it goes back to 1982. So even with these 2 books, you still don't have the full, 1978 to 1985 list of cars. That's why you see so many mixed numbers on how many cars were used and all that. You see numbers all over the place.
My hope was that if we just track the last couple of seasons, I just want to know in 1985 when it was over,
we had 30 cars left over.
What was there? So that we can go on the hunt and find the forever young car and I can finally live my dream.
Yeah.
So that is it for this episode, I think. What is your rating of this crappy episode?
The driving was pretty good on it. So I'll give it that.
I liked the way Corey Eubanks wheeled the car. I've heard him talk so many times about how he learned to make the General wiggle like Al Wyatt would. That the General could never go straight. It always had to be a little sideways for this, that, or the other reason. So I like how he drives it. I liked how Tom Wopat drove it.
I didn't like that there was no stunts, no like real jumps other than the van's pipe ramp and a couple of police cars damaged. So I give it 6 across the board.
Yeah, I'm going to give the episode a 3. I go up for 4 for the little person comment. That was kind of
and you did like the fortune teller chick too.
I like her in Police Academy. But I didn't care for this. I don't know. The episode's average of 5. Let's move on. There's only one more. Go. And no Bo Duke. There's one funny line at the end, though, where he's on the phone and they say, "How's the rooming house?" And he goes, "Oh, it's great. Not here very much, though, especially at night."
That's where you overlay the punch music. The editors forgot to do that.
That's exactly what they forgot. Everybody, if you would like to join us and help us give some kids a happy Christmas, go to patreon.com/KFshow. Sign up. I think you can do just a one-time donation there. We understand that not everybody can do this every single month. We get it. But if you'd like to do just a one-time donation, try to find a way to do that. We're going to get some money this month to some very deserving kids so that they can have a nice Christmas and some cool toys. And who knows? Maybe we can find a way to get them some Generalies to play with, because that does make the world a little bit better. Make sure that you go to holly.com, get yourself some retro brights. Is that what they were called? The LED lights. Those things are badass. Make sure that you check them out. It's
every classic car needs them.
Holly retro brights are a really power effective way to put in LED lights that don't look lame. Is that good marketing? Doesn't suck.
Yeah, because that Daisy car that I had, it had some, halogen, whatever those aftermarket goofy looking lights, and it looked so ugly. It was bug-eyed. That was the first thing I had to do was ditch those and put the buckets back in there and stock headlights. But yeah, if you drive your car a good bit, especially at night, of course, then they would be perfect for that.
Next episode, I need to dig in a little bit. I've got a moral dilemma on the General. I do want to put a stroker motor in it, but I also want to put a Gen 3 in it. The 1,000-horse Chevy Big Block that came out at SEMA, where they take an old motor and put some kind of new cool stuff on it. I'm torn there. I've started to create things in my mind. As long as it has a round air cleaner and Moroso valve covers, it's legit, right? I think
you're thinking dirty thoughts, aren't you?
I've got some thoughts. Wow. Bernie, anything else before we go?
I have this for Corndog. Kibby told me this the other day, so I wanted to let you in on it. Mrs. Kibby came in and she asked Rob, where did you get so much candy? And Rob just coyly looked at it and said, well, I've always had a few Twix up my sleeve.
You suck.
You could have gone a totally different direction with that answer.
Totally.
Really?
Totally could have. 2 episodes to go, and then a Patreon show, and then everybody can take some time off. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Later.
The Kibby and Friends Show. Brought to you by our good friends at Holly Performance. Click the link on our show page and visit holly.com for everything air, fuel, and performance related for your ride. Connect with us on the socials and at patreon.com/KAFS. See you next week. Later on.
Daisy, ain't you been through enough? Come on.
Luke, it is my reputation and my future at stake here. I'm going. What else, Luke? I'm driving, so come on.
Just like her mother. I got Enos out there, and he's going to catch Daisy Duke and put her in a slammer.
All right, that's good.
Then he's going to put Luke in a slammer for aiding and abetting her escape.
All right, well, that's even better, because you know something? I just couldn't believe that Daisy Duke would stoop so low as to steal any kiss.
Oh, no, because she's not the type. You know, that gave me a quiver in my liver.
I'm not surprised.
You know something? Those Dukes really must be hard up for money.
Oh, hard up? Oh, well, that's because of that hot devil farm they all want to make a living on.
They really think I did it.
Yeah, they didn't frame you. Well, that's a switch.
I don't know if it's good or bad. Who could have done it? How? Why?
I don't know, but we're going to have to find him, or else Boss and Roscoe are going to railroad you on circumstantial evidence.
I'll tell you, the boar's nest was locked up tight. I don't understand.
Well, let's go over there and give it a good going over.
Look, only a little child could fit through that opening.
Or a little person.
You mean like that fortune teller's little flunky 3-pack?
And so, thanks to the Dukes, them crooked fortune tellers was put behind bars. Poor old Bo, he's been missing all this, having to make do with the dull life on a racing circuit.
There it is. Yeah, hello. The Boar's Nest.
Hello, Boar's Nest yourself.
How you doing? It's nice to know you're still alive.
Oh, ain't not much going on. I'm sitting here in the team owner's office, you know. Hey, how's Uncle Jesse and Daisy?
They're just fine. They're right here. Hold on.
Bo, how you doing? We miss you.
Boy, I miss y'all too. I'm doing fine. Shoot, working day and night.
What are you doing? Testing engines at night, Bo? Here's Uncle Jesse.
Hey, Bo, how's that rooming house you're staying at?
The rooming house is good. The room's kind of small. Feet hang off the side of the bed, but that's okay. I'm not there that much.
Yeah, well, goodbye. Just a minute.
Hey, Bo, we all really miss you. You take care of yourself, okay?
And poor Boss had to replace everything Lulu had in her safe, including the bombs. And she was so thrilled that she moved back into his bedroom. He'd have been happier if she just cooked something. And Daisy Duke's good name was cleared. Not that it could ever be smirched. And we ended up with one of them happy Hazzard endings. Shoot, I didn't need no crystal ball to predict that.
You